Al-Ittihad have had a remarkable season, winning their league, beating Ronaldo's Al-Nassr to that first place position. And on top of that, they have just signed Karim Benzema and N'Golo Kante. And whilst their manager's done well, I think I can do better. So today, I am taking charge of Al-Ittihad, and by the end of this video, I will make them the best team in the world. So this is the starting 11 I've loaded into, and honestly, it's not that bad at all. Obviously, it has its weaknesses like its right back, its left back, and its winger, but there's certainly some strengths as well. Our winger, Mourinho, is actually pretty decent, as well as our central attacker midfielder. And who can forget their new signings, Karim Benzema and also N'Golo Kante. But we've got to make some good improvements because we put Al-Ittihad into the Premier League. So with that being said, looking at the team, I think the first thing we got to do is switch this formation round. And I'm thinking of going to a false now. We've got a centre forward in Karim Benzema, we've got a CDM in the Kante. I think it's best that we build this around our two best players. This obviously means a couple of position changes, starting with Mourinho becoming a right winger and Coronado becoming a left winger. And honestly, looking at the team right now, it really isn't that bad at all. But we do obviously need to improve this team, starting with both of our fullbacks and maybe bringing in a centre midfielder or two. And because the Saudis have insane amounts of money, I have given Al-Ittihad 130 million to spend. And because the Saudi Arabian teams are signing players that are quite old, we're going to keep with that theme and we're not allowed to buy any player under the age of 30 years old. But to be fair, looking at the age of most Al-Ittihad's players, that's a common theme with this team anyway. And we're starting this transfer window bringing in a fullback, Jordi Alba from Barcelona. He's 33 years old, he's 85 rated, and we desperately need a left back. And we have officially made our first signing as the new manager of Al-Ittihad, bringing Jordi Alba to this team for 22.8 million. And for our right back, we're going for Danilo, who's 81 rated, he's 31 years old. I can actually see this happening in a couple of seasons' time as well. And for 20.2 million, we have signed Danilo on a 2-year deal. Now that we've sorted the fullbacks out, let's look at the other areas in the pitch. I think it's obvious we need a better couple of centre midfielders because Kante just can't do it on his own. I've just noticed as well, Jordi Alba's 84 rated. He hasn't even been signed for us for 5 days yet. Oh, I'm going to be at this all day. Now, this player, as I'm recording this video, is actually rumoured to be joining the Saudi Arabian team. Luka Modric, who's 36 years old. He's 88 rated. I don't know how long he's going to stay at that overall for, but he's a bloody good player still. And for 24.8 million, we have signed Luka Modric on a 2-year deal. And this next centre midfielder is also rumoured to be leaving their club this year. İlkay Gündoğan from Manchester City. He's 31 years old, 85 rated. He's just won the Champions League. He just wants that bag now. And he is our most expensive signing yet, as we've just spent 31.8 million to make him an Al-Ittihad player. And that last signing really bankrupted us. We've got 2 million in our budget now, which does mean this is the Al-Ittihad team going into season 1 of the Premier League. I'm honestly quite intrigued to see how many of these players keep their overall until the end of the season, because I'm betting that they're not going to be there for long. But could you imagine if all of these players that are brought in were together in their prime? This team alone would be bloody unstoppable. We definitely ain't making Europe, but I'm very interested to see how this team performs in the Prem. We've arrived in January and we're actually 9th in the league halfway through the season. We are doing a lot better than I thought we'd be doing. But bloody hell, we aren't finding the net easy. Benzema's our top goal scorer with 9 goals and 2 assists, for God's sake. And honestly, I'm very surprised at some of these players' overalls. Benzema, Modric and Jordi Alba have all decreased in overall, which to be fair, I did expect. But Gündoğan, Kante and Danilo have actually gone up in overall. That I find incredible. Now, we do still have 10 million to spend. And as you guys may have noticed, Ahmed Agazi's picked up an injury that's going to put him out for the next 3 months. So I think you guys know where this is going. I'm going to try and bring in another centre-back. And honestly, who better than Nicholas Otamendi? He's 34 years old. He's still 81 rated. He's got Premier League experience with Man City, so I'm bringing him back. And for just £7 million, we have signed Otamendi on a 3-year deal. And that is our transfer window wrapped up, which means this is the team that's going to finish off season 1. Honestly, boys, right now we're just building a team of old age pensioners. I'm still gobsmacked that Kante, Gündoğan and Danilo have gone up in overall. I find that so bizarre. But right now we're 9th in the league, and this team actually does look pretty respectable, but it's just a question of where we're going to be in May. We have just arrived in May and we have finished 9th in the league at the end of this season. That I will definitely take. And we also had a great cup run, making it to the semis before getting knocked out by Man City. I'm honestly so surprised that Alba, Modric, Otamendi have kept their overall so high considering their age. And at 35 years old, Big Benz has got 21 goals in 8 assists in 43 games. Honestly, I am very surprised that we've done so well in season 1. I was expecting every player we had had to drop out 6 or 7 overall. But they haven't, which is a good thing. In Season 2, we can bring even more talent into this squad and hopefully get a top 6 finish. We're now into Season 2 and we've got a very good budget of 95 million to spend. And when you look at the team, it is obvious where we need to improve it. We desperately need a better goalkeeper than this guy. He's 73 rated. He was a massive letdown for us last year. On top of that, we need better centre-backs than Hegazi and Otamendi, and I think we're genuinely in contention for European football next year. I'm honestly gutted. I was initially going to go for Thiago Silva for our first centre-back spot, but he's retiring at the end of this season. So instead of Silva, I'm going a different direction, and Stefan Savic, who currently plays for Inter Milan, he's 32 years old, he's 84 rated. I reckon he's got 1 or 2 really good years left in him. And for 27.8 million, we have signed Stefan Savic on a 3-year deal. And partnering up with Savic will be Mats Hummels. He currently plays for Dortmund still. He's 34 years old, he's 82 rated, he's got 12 months left on his contract. And because of this, we got him on a really cheap deal, as we only had to spend 8 million on him. And now that our defensive lineup's completely sorted, we can now focus our attention on that goalkeeper. And we do still have 48 million, but the goalie I'm thinking of bringing in will literally cost us pennies. I've never signed this guy before in career mode. Manuel Neuer is 89 rated still at 37 years old, and he's got 12 months left on his contract as well. And for just 2.15 million, we have signed Manuel Neuer on a 2-year contract. And that does leave us with 41 million to spend, but I'm going to save that money until January, which means this is the squad going into Season 2 in the Premier League. And honestly, what a team we've put together so far. I know they're all over 30 years old, but they're still bloody good. We fixed our defensive situation out. We've got a world-class goalkeeper in between the sticks, so this year I'm actually expecting us to get much better than 9th in the league. Boys, we're in January and we are 2nd in the league halfway through the season. The legend of the game showing the Premier League how it's done. And Benzema is having a very good season so far. 18 goals and 7 assists in 25 games. That's literally a goal contribution a game for him. And don't ask me how, but we've now got 57 million to spend. And looking at the squad, I noticed that Romarinho is actually retiring at the end of this season, so it just makes sense to bring in a right winger. Now, obviously, my first choice would have been Lionel Messi had he not turned down the Saudi League for the MLS, so we're going to go a different route. Instead, we're going for Riyad Mahrez, who currently plays for AC Milan. He's 32 years old, he's 84 rated, and I think in real life he is so underrated. But we really had to dip our hands in our pockets to bring him to the club, as we spent 37.8 million on him. And we do still have 16 mil, but I'm going to wrap up our transfer window there, which means this is the team that's going to finish off Season 2. Next year, though, we're going to have to make some replacements. Hummels is 80 rated, Modric is 83 rated, Alba's 81 rated. They're all starting to dwindle in overall. But for now, we are smashing it in the Premier League. We are 2nd in the league, and hopefully we can achieve European football for next year. We've just arrived in May, and don't ask me how, but we are 3rd in the league at the end of this season. Next year, we will officially be in the Champions League. And we did this with 2 injuries as well. Danilio's out injured, and so's bloody Mahrez. Big boy Benz take about 31 goals and 10 assists in 46 games. For a 36-year-old, that's bloody good going. It's only taken us 2 seasons to qualify for European football, signing players over 30 years old for this team, man. That's outrageous. But next year, we will have to make the necessary changes, because some of those overalls right now just aren't good enough for the Champions League. But before we go any further, if you're enjoying the video so far, leave it a big old thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 25,000 subscribers before the end of this month, so if you can help me along the way, that would be amazing. We're now into Season 3 with Al-Ittihad, and if we want to do well in the Champions League, there's a lot of things we need to fix. Now, starting with Danilio and Mahrez, they will be back in time for when the Champions League begins, so I'm not entirely worried about replacing them just yet. However, replacing Mats Hummels, Modric and Jordi Alba is at the top of my priority list. If we have any money left after sorting those problems out, we'll revisit the team and see where we can improve it even further. But boys, we have got money, 186 million to spend. And we started with the midfield by bringing in Paul Pogba. He's 6'3", he's 31 years old, he's 84 rated. We'll get at least 3 good years out of him. And for just over £30 million, we have signed Paul Pogba on a 3-year deal. And for the left back, I'm going for Argentinian fullback Marcus Acuna. He currently plays for Newcastle United. He's 32 years old and he's still 85 rated. And to be fair, he was quite expensive, as we've just spent 37 million to bring him into this team. And finally, for that centre back, David Alba, who currently plays for Newcastle. He's 32 years old, 86 rated. We'll get 2 or 3 good seasons out of him. And he is our most expensive signing yet, as we've just spent 42.8 million on him. And we do still have 55 million to spend, but I'm going to wrap up the transfer window there. there. Which means this is the team going into Season 3, and I'm very impressed with how it looks considering all these players are on the wrong side of 30. We've sorted all of our issues out. Danilo and Mahrez will be back in time for when the season begins. I think we can actually pull off a madness in the Champions League this year. And speaking of the Champions League, we are in Group F alongside Borussia Dortmund, Fiorentina and Shakhtar Donetsk. Now it is a pretty decent group. Dortmund and Fiorentina are a decent outfit. Shakhtar Donetsk we don't really have to worry about, but regardless of all this, I still want to make it into the knockouts. Boys, we've just arrived in January and we are 5th in the league halfway through the season. We are doing remarkably well in the league once again. And we have absolutely wiped the floor with Group F and we go to the knockouts with flying colours. And Benzema is the top goal scorer with 16 goals, 4 assists in 26 games. For a 37-year-old, he's an animal. Now I don't know why our budget keeps increasing halfway through the season, meaning we've got 65 million to spend. And if I'm able to, I'd like to bring in a better centre-back than Savic and a better right winger than Mahrez. He's really fell off since coming back from injury. Now for the winger, I'm going for Italian Domenico Berardi from Sassuolo. He's 30 years old, he's 84 rated. We've used him before on this career mode and he's a baller. And for 37.2 million, we have officially solved our winger problem. And to temporarily fix our centre-back situation, Kalidou Koulibaly from Chelsea. He's 33 years old, he is 84 rated still. He'll definitely do the job for at least one season. And thankfully, he was well within our remaining budget as he only cost us 13.5 million. And with that, our transfer window is officially wrapped up and this is the squad going into the knockouts of the Champions League for the very first time. Now honestly, I reckon if these overalls can hold off until the very end of this season, we've got a decent chance of winning the Champions League this year. But I suppose this all depends on who we get drawn up against first. And first up, we do indeed have Celtic in the round of 16. I'm not taking these guys for granted. I know for a fact these guys have got a decent team. Hatate, Traore, Abada, O'Reilly, they're all decent players. However, when it comes to our team, I don't really think they stand a chance in hell. Away from home in the first leg, 2-1 victory. I did expect a bit more, but we'll take the win nonetheless. We're in the second leg and Danilo's injured again, and so is bloody Goodwin. Honestly, their old age is getting to them now. They're bloody frail. Hopefully, that doesn't mean all that much and we can still get to the quarterfinals, man. Oh my god, we just narrowly escaped Celtic. If we get a big team next, we are screwed. We are honestly so screwed. Bayern in the quarterfinals. No Gundogan, no Danilo, no bloody chance. But if we want to get to the final, Bayern are the team we have to go through next. We are at home in the first leg. It's a draw. Do you know what? I will definitely take a draw from the first leg. It all comes down to this, boys. Are Bayern a little bit too much for us, or are we about to pull off an absolute madness against? Oh my god, we got past Celtic on pens and we got past Bayern on pens as well. We are going to the semi-finals by the skin of our teeth, and now we're up against my burger team, Bayer Leverkusen. I swear lately every time I come up against these guys I just can't beat them. Hopefully it's not the same story now because we just got past Bayern Munich. I really love to... If this happens again, I'm not going to be happy. Literally everything is against me. Gundogan, Danilo injured, and now Koulibaly suspended for this game. Are you honestly having a laugh at this point? It's going to happen again, isn't it? We are actually going to get knocked out by Leverkusen again. I swear, oh my god, it's actually happened again. It has actually happened again. Boys, I'm honestly so done. 89th minute. In the 89th minute. Are you freaking kidding me? The only thing that can make this worse is if we don't get a top 4 finish. But no, in my luck, we haven't even got that. All I can say is thank God for that. We are 4th in the league at the end of this season. We are once again in the Champions League next year. And we came so close to silver where we lost to Newcastle United 2-1 in the FA Cup final. Danilo and Gundogan are still freaking injured. We definitely need to replace them next year. I really hope we can get Benzema that Champions League. 37 goals in 20 assists in 57 games. That is literally a goal contribution a game for him. We've had 2 injuries for the second half of the season. We got a top 4 finish and we made the semis of the Champions League. I'd say that's actually a pretty big W. But next year, I want to win the Prem and I want to win that Champions League. I consider anything less a massive L. We're now into Season 4 with Al-Ittihad. We have 200 million to spend. I don't think we're going to have any issues bringing players into this team. Looking at the team, it is honestly so obvious where we need to improve it. Gundogan is still injured, so we're definitely bringing in a new centre midfielder. On top of that, we need a new goalkeeper, a centre back, and right back because Danilo is far too injury prone. And starting with the fullback, I'm going for João Cancelo, who currently plays for Manchester City. He's 31 years old, he's 87 rated. He's got at least 2 or 3 good seasons left in his career. And for a grand total of 58 million, we have officially made Cancelo a Al-Ittihad player. And next Next up is the goalkeeper, and I'm going for Courtois, who still plays for Real Madrid. He's 6'6", 33 years old, 90 rated. He's got 12 months left on his contract as well. And for 28.6 million, we have signed Courtois on a 3-year deal. And for that centre midfielder role, I'm bringing in Kevin De Bruyne. He's 88 rated, 34 years old, arguably one of the greatest midfielders of all time. And for 48.9 million, we have officially signed Kevin De Bruyne. And finally, for that centre back, Virgil van Dijk, 34 years old, 88 rated, and the best part, he's a free agent. And we do still have 26 million in our budget, but I'm going to save that until January. Which means this is the team going into Season 4, and once again, the Champions League. I cannot believe we've assembled a team of over 30s that looks this goddamn good still. But of course, we are in the Champions League once again. We're in Group B alongside Leipzig, Lazio, and Dynamo Kiev. Now, Leipzig and Lazio are pretty decent teams, but I don't care about that. I want top Group B just like we did last year. Boys, we're in January and we are 11th in the league after 20 games. I don't know what's happened to us in the Prem, but we are doing shockingly bad. But once again, we've absolutely annihilated the group stage and we are cruising to the round of 16. Big Ben's once again 15 goals, 8 assists in 27 games. He's 38 years old, man. He's an absolute beast. And when we take a look at the starting 11, there's not really any places we do need to improve. I'm very satisfied with this team going into the knockouts. However, when you take a look at the subs bench, there's one position we haven't got backup for, and that's the striker role, so I'm going to fix that now. And thankfully, we do have 42 million to spend, so this shouldn't be too difficult. And honestly, I only had one player in mind, Sadio Mane, who currently plays for Bayern Munich still. He's 33 years old, 85 rated. He's just the backup we need. And for 34.3 million, we have officially signed Sadio Mane on a 3-year deal. Which means this is the team going into the knockouts of the Champions League. Hang on a minute, why the hell is Alaba injured? How long is he injured for? That could have been a lot worse. I think he'll be back for the quarterfinals if we get past the round of 16. But honestly, as long as our players stay fit and healthy and don't get suspended, we can definitely make it all the way to the final this year. And after getting past Young Boys in the round of 16 and beating Juve in the quarters, we are now once again in the semi-final. And Christ, we've got a challenge ahead. Liverpool in the semi-final. Both teams are quite fatigued, and I'd say our team just edges theirs in quality, but first leg at home. What are we going to do, boys? We've actually taken a 1-0 lead courtesy of Kevin De Bruyne. De Ligt is injured for the second leg. It looks very goddamn promising. You can't write this, boys. Cancelo's picked up a suspension. He will not be playing in the biggest game of the goddamn season. Luckily, we do have a 1-0 advantage going into this game. All we need is a draw, and we have done it. All we need is a draw. We got one better. Mane against his former club has knocked them out and he's put us into the Champions League final. And Big Ben's is coming up against his former club at Real Madrid in that Champions League final. And we did somewhat recover in the Prem. We finished 6th at the end of this season, but that's still shocking considering where we finished the last couple of seasons. But we have won the FA Cup, beating Manchester United 4-2 in the final. Boys, we're on for the double. And Big Ben's is an animal. 31 goals, 18 assists in 57 games. Man, what a player. I cannot get over how well we've done with a team of over 30-year-olds, man. This team is actually sick. 89 rated Cancelo, 87 rated Berardi, 90 rated Courtois, and at 38 years old, 86 rated Karim Benzema. One thing I will say though, this team is so low. Look at our midfield, man. What is that pace? But it's about time to see if this team we've assembled with Al-Ittihad is indeed the best team in the world. You see that run from Benz? Big Benz is on the ball. He just doesn't have any pace. He's got the technical ability though. Over the top, Corondo, right-footed shot, top right bin. 6 minutes in, we are 1-0 up against Madrid. I think we're going to have to play it like that. We're not counter-attacking at all. We are just going to have to play possession and try and find an opening. Oh, that's a lovely touch from Corondo. He's looking for that ball. Benzema, we're going to power this. Oh, why didn't I just hit it? Why didn't I just take it normally? Van Dijk against Vinny Jr. Cancelo's in chase as well. Cancelo. Berardi on the ball. He's waiting for them to make a move. Oh, this is nice. KDB on his left foot. Smashes that in. 2-0 up inside 35 minutes. Boys, even though our team is on its last legs, we are still dominating Madrid. I'm making an official challenge right now. If any YouTuber who plays FIFA reckons they can take me on in a game of FIFA and beat me, let's have it. Coronado on the ball. You can cut inside. Find that run from Benzema. Benzema versus Pau Torres. Torres isn't really getting close to him. He's going to take this shot. Benzema, with about 55 pieces, just outpaced Pau Torres and smacked it with his weaker foot. Top right bins. We are 3-0 up against Madrid now. I was expecting such a competitive game against Madrid, but they're absolutely terrible. Coronado, once again, on this left-hand side, he's outpaced Delo. We're looking at a fourth goal here, if I play this right. Karim Benzema's picked it up. I mean, should I just let the AI play against itself for a bit so it has a chance, or do I keep going? Madrid have gone all-out attack, and it's not benefited them at all. Coronado can make it 5-0. Oh my god. Should we go for 6-0? I reckon we go for 6-0. He's on the ball. He's against Pau Torres. Pau Torres found Karim once again. He's, oh my god, we actually got 6 as well. We have actually got 6 goals. Karim Benzema, with what I believe to be his hat-trick, has well and truly buried Real Madrid in this game. And that is all she wrote. Al-Ittihad 6. Real Madrid 0, and Al-Ittihad have become the best team in the world with a team that is full of goldie oldies. Honestly, I haven't had that much fun doing a video in a long time. That was quite entertaining. And if you enjoyed this video, you should click somewhere right here to watch me rebuild Luton Town in the Premier League.